The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd followed him because they saw the signs he was performing on the sick. Jesus went up on the mountain, and there he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus raised his eyes and saw a large crowd was coming to him, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy enough bread, enough food for them to eat?" He said this to test him, because he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 days' wages worth of food would not be enough for each of them to have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but what good are these for so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people recline." Now there was a great deal of grass in that place. So the men reclined, about 5,000 in number. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much of the fish as they wanted. When they had their fill, he said to his disciples, "Gather the fragments left over, so that nothing will be wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 wicker baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves that had been more than they could eat. When the people saw the sign he had done, they said, "This is truly the prophet, the one who was to come into the world." Since Jesus knew that they were going to come and carry him off to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain alone. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The Bread of Life discourse, John chapter 6, is one of the great chapters in the Bible. And it really is the heart and the background to the Eucharist. The key line here is the Jewish Passover was near. So Jesus gave this teaching 1 year before he actually instituted the Eucharist. And for the next 5 days at daily Mass, we will have the Bread of Life discourse, all of John chapter 6. And I would recommend you read it from beginning to end. And it really is the heart of our faith, the Eucharist. And today there's a lot of people, a lot of Catholics not believing in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. And by way of preparation, I Googled homilies or talks on the Bread of Life discourse. I was absolutely amazed at what I saw. Most of the talks were by Protestant preachers attacking the Catholic belief in the Eucharist. It's no wonder Catholics are confused. I was thinking, like with politics, like if you watch CNN or MSNBC, they have one stand. You watch Fox News, they have a totally different stand. And you wonder where the truth is. It's a bit like that with religion. It reminded me of what the Queen of England said one time. "I don't care whether it's true or false, I just don't want it to be Catholic." I think that's the mentality. It really is a tough time to be a Catholic Christian. Like the amount of the way they attacked the core belief of the Catholic Church. And I wonder, where are the Catholic theologians? Where are the Catholic scripture scholars? If you Google a daily Mass reading, you'll get 15 or 20 non-Catholics. Very rarely will you get a Catholic that have any explanation of the particular text. We're really behind when it comes to that. The best ones are converts to the Catholic Church on defending the Eucharist. People like Jimmy Aiken, Peter Kreft has a great one. Peter Kreft says, and I love this, he said, if the Protestants are right about the Eucharist, and the Catholics are wrong, we're the greatest idolaters in the world. But if the Catholics are right about the Eucharist and the Protestants are wrong, then they're missing out on the most intimate and special way that God communicates with us. Another great one, Stephen Ray. Any of you heard of Stephen Ray? He has some great YouTubes on the Eucharist. I would highly recommend them. Scott Hahn is another one that has good YouTubes on the Eucharist. But I'm glad they're doing it, but it's a shame that we have to depend on these former Protestants to teach us about the Eucharist, because it really is the heart of our faith. And this miracle was the promise of the Eucharist, when Jesus would feed us with his very self. And it was Jesus' teaching about the Eucharist that caused them to balk. Many of them said, this kind of talk is hard to take. And they no longer followed him. Jesus didn't water it down and say, you misunderstood. No, he doubled down and said, just eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood. You have no life in you. So this is the core of our faith. And as Catholics, we really need to understand the bread of life discourse. Amen.